Oh, we're on. Oh, that's so good because the power has gone out, and so I don't know how long. I don't know how long I'll be recording for. The power's just gone out in my community here in Bali, so I'll just keep going till it says that it's not recording. So welcome to my segment, Sacred Heart Connections. The language of love. I love that that name is out there, especially in these times. So I always like to begin with saying a big thank you to 1 Million Meditators and Anita and all the staff at 1 Million Meditators and all the ambassadors for bringing this together. Together we are consciously creating a shift in this planet. 1 Million Meditators is all about bringing awareness or about change, like bringing about change in a positive way. So you may have noticed in the past that there's been and still is violence being brought to the surface, children being trafficked, there's suicide, especially teenagers is on the rise. I know in Australia where I'm from, the males has increased for suicide, and how Mother Earth has been suffocated and blocked, energy blocked. So I always say that the veins of Mother Earth are our waterways, and the ocean is her blood. And we all have that within us. We are all connected. So anyway, enough of that because we're going into the high vibe stuff. So today, and thank you for your questions, and I'll be going through them. So no question is a silly question, so please keep sending them in. I am responding personally to some, but sometimes because of my busy lifestyle, I'm not able to get back to all of you, but I will do my best. You're all loved, and I really appreciate you connecting with me. It's just time-wise doing this work and trying to get as many people connected and grounded so they're not anxious uses a lot of my energy. And also I might mention that going live and doing these live streams was all new to me. So I also had to push through my fear and frustration and many, many other things, but I'm becoming more comfortable with it. So these are the things that we need to do, is do these things and learn more about what's going on in our internal world. So the last of the 2 chakras, of the 7 chakras, now remembering there are, I think, 112 chakras we have throughout the body and around us. Our auric field is also part of the chakra system because chakra means energy, or energy within and around. And so if we're thinking of, because we covered the heart last week and we went into the throat, so today I'd like to talk about the third eye chakra. So our third eye chakra is the way I like to describe it, because I'm very, very, when I'm teaching this in my workshops and retreats, I like to keep things simple, because what I found over time and just listening and hearing back from giving feedback from my clients was the words that are sometimes written or taught are very confusing for some. And my goal is to reach everyone, not just a minority. So what I've done is learnt to simplify, and I had a lot of help with one of my former teachers or gurus in India, Professor Padmanabhan from Kanua University. He taught me the philosophy about chakras and the ancient philosophy about Sanskrit and where it comes from. The chakras are part of this a language used in Sanskrit. So we want to keep it for this segment in English. So I just use the English words as much as I can. So chakra simply means energy centers or energy within, and the energy spins one way or like anti-clockwise or clockwise, and when it gets blocked and it cannot flow, it means there's some kind of stress in the external world that has caused that, and it's normally coming from the mind sending signals about your environment or about another person or another thing or an incident. So we need to learn how to self-regulate by being self-aware of what's happening in our environment at any given time. So the third eye is where we receive our insight. So this is insight that I'm giving you that I have learnt, I have studied, I have researched, I have experienced. So I love teaching this. So the third eye insight is the information that comes through when we start to listen to our inner self. In my book, Heal to Live, which I wrote a couple of years ago, I write about the inner guidance system. So instead of the GPS, I call it, which we use to navigate our external world, I call this the IGS, the inner guidance system. When we learn to navigate that, we will emotionally become intelligent enough to draw in the energy that serves us and deplete or get rid of the energy that doesn't serve us. So it's like, so the insight, the third eye is about the knowing, that you know that, like it, you're not in your ego. So the pineal gland is part of the third eye. It's a little, it does look like a little eye. And for those of you that know Shiva, and he has a symbol here, and it's to represent the third eye. So Shiva energy is the divine light. He was here. People I think get confused about why he was here, because they say, oh, he was the destroyer. I don't know why that word has been invented and put towards Shiva, because Shiva is the supreme light energy, and he was here to eliminate darkness and bring in the beautiful light of peace and harmony. And part of what's going on at the moment, Shiva energy is very, very strong, and I know that through being here in Bali and an experience I had around about September last year with Shiva. And in my book, I write about when I'd meditate and Shiva would come, the energy of Shiva would come into my body, and it would be an energy of strength and courage for me to keep going, keep doing my work, keep spreading the message of love and peace and harmony around the world. So this isn't about ego. So ego comes from the subconscious mind. It is something that, that we're taught when we're younger. We have a little bit of ego when we're born, because we learn that if we cry, we'll get fed, or if we cry some more, we'll get a hug, or we cry and we get our nappy changed, and it sort of goes from there. But we're taught to be analytical, use our analytical mind most of the time, which nothing wrong with that. We should use it a little bit, but we've taught to use it most of the time and not tune in and use our inner guidance system. So to follow your intuition or develop your intuition, I've been teaching developing your intuition now for about 4 years at the Yoga Button here in Bali. And one thing I do like to put out to people is I do a little meditation with them. I get them to connect with their heart and then feel that energy of the question. Now, if that energy of the question that they're seeking, and it may be, is this partner right for me? It may be, is this job, am I on the right path with, am I in alignment with this path, this choice I have made with doing this, the work that I do, or this job or organisation? If the answer comes and it feels heavy in your heart, or you just feel the energy of stress, it's a no. If your heart lights up and you feel by smiling, you just feel, that feels so good, it's a yes. That is the easiest way that I believe to follow your intuition. And it's a really good way to develop your life skills, as in energy of others, you know, because energy is getting thrown around everywhere, especially in these times. Social media, at the moment, there's a lot out there which does interfere with our social media pages because it's negative and it's putting negativity into our page. And I got a little reminder from one of my clients on my Sacred Heart Connections Facebook page, which was beautiful because I put something on there with all intentions, just to let people know we need to bring in the light. But the video I put up had darkness in it. And he sent me a beautiful message and said that he would prefer that I just keep light things on there, and that's totally fine. I mean, where we're at is where we're at, but I did explain that this was merely to bring awareness so we all wake up, that because this video was made 28 years ago and it's to do with what's happening now across the world and America. Nothing's changed in 28 years. And I was sort of explaining that my daughter is almost 30 and she was 2 years old when this was made. She was the one that sent it to me, and nothing's changed. And when I gave birth to her, my intention was that she'd come into a beautiful world and things were going to change. So, yeah, we should be aware of that. We are the change. We are love, and we need to start spreading that love in a compassionate way to ourselves and others. Remember, point the finger in and follow your intuition, your inner guidance system. Never point the finger out to someone else. If you're feeling discomfort, uncomfortable, feeling fear or angry or resentment or guilt or shame or anything like that, you really do need to point the finger into the heart and ask your heart, what is it I need to see? How do I move this energy? Then your third eye opens up. That message gets received in your heart. The magic happens. That's another golden gem for your spiritual treasure chest. So the crown chakra is so beautiful because when the third eye is open and the heart is open and they're in sync and they're working with each other, we're moving into super consciousness. We're moving into all this awareness. I'm going like that because the energy starts to rise up and we start to receive. When we receive, we're receiving like a level of consciousness through a lens of color, of divine energy, of love, of ecstasy. I say ecstasy because I don't know a word, and bliss and love and peace and harmony, I don't know a word in the English language to describe, or any other language to describe, the feeling of spirit and what you're doing. And I know this from my experience. I'm sharing my experience here of when I died and what it was like being spirit. So that's what you're aiming for. You're aiming for a feeling. And when we get that feeling of love and peace and harmony into the body, we start to receive from a higher dimension. I'm just looking up at the clouds because clouds are part of divine, a part of knowing. When you look up at the clouds, for whatever, intuitively, just being, oh, I must look up, you will receive answers. It means you're starting to align with something. You've got this inner knowing that there's peace in the path that you're about to take. So the crown chakra is the home of your divine connection, I guess you could say. And as we evolve and we wake up and awaken of knowing we have this energy that we can connect with, that's our spirit, the doorway of the subconscious opens up and allows that beautiful energy to come in. It allows consciousness to freely step through into your subconscious. So remembering the subconscious is where we hold all the data. This is a bit of review about what I've been teaching over the last couple of weeks. The subconscious holds all the data. It holds good and not so good thoughts, and which are part of our feelings and our emotions. and they are triggered in any one day. But if we learn to self-regulate and change it around, what happens is the subconscious door opens up and it lets consciousness walk through so we can reprogram that. But we need the information of understanding. So with what I've just said about the crown chakra, there's a feeling, a spiritual connection of inner knowing that there is this peace and love within us that is separate from the human side of us. However, we have this inner power that we can heal our bodies and we can heal those around us. And the more of us that come together and do this, the quicker the planet will raise its vibration and heal. And we will start to harmonize with each other, with every country, every living being on this planet. Which is what Om Shanti, if for those of you who are familiar with Om Shanti, 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 Om, which Om is a very high vibration, that if you vibrate, harmonize with that, you'll feel the vibration of Om throughout the body. It's just a divine universal connection. But Shanti, the first Shanti means peace in the mind, and the second Shanti means peace in the body, and the third Shanti means for every living being, may they live in peace and live in harmony. So that's the message that we want to send out. May everybody receive peace and harmony. May there be an abundance for those on the planet. We don't all like the same things, so we don't all want a red car to drive. We don't all want to live by the ocean. We don't all want to live in the country. We don't all want to live in a caravan. These are choices, and there is enough for all. There is no reason why anybody should be hungry. There is no reason why there should be racism in this world today. It just means we haven't evolved, if there is. So it's now time to evolve and bring in the beautiful light of peace and harmony to the world. So I'd like to, because I had a question about angels, and I really, really love talking about angels, my angels. So when I actually died, the next day, it was very, very interesting because I wasn't aware of channeling and what that actually meant. But I was being channeled and I could see and feel and touch, or they were touching me, angels. My grandparents were sitting on the end of my bed who had died 15 and 20 years prior, and they were telling me things, and I went from living just this life in the material world to now I'm living two worlds, and I didn't know which way to turn. But I would speak to my angels in a way, so this is the language of love, which is what I'm putting out there at the moment in my in the Sacred Heart Connections, because the language of love comes through the angelic supreme light. It's like a light language, but light language is actually spoken in another language I don't understand, but I'll call it light language in a English form. So the angels were telling me, they were showing me, they were guiding me. I had this deep, deep connection to Mother Earth, to the moon, the sun. But I did feel like I was going a bit crazy because I felt like when I was around people, I was different. But at that time, I didn't understand about energy and how I was so sensitive. I was picking up all their energy thinking it was mine. My psychic abilities opened up. My intuition was so high, and I started just reading cards for some reason. I just went out and bought a pack of angel cards. I didn't know why. It was just, I think, because I was seeing and feeling and felt the love of the angels every day in my new world. So I had to adjust to both worlds in that way, which brought me to Bali. So channeling, when I was channeling one day just on my laptop, didn't know it was channeling, but I was receiving messages and being guided to come to Bali. And I thought, because I kept asking in meditation, why am I here and why did you do that? Why did you put me back here? You know, you need to show me. And what I've learned, many healers, spirit guides, teachers, meditation teachers know how to do this, but it's called channeling. And if you want to reach out to me about that, please contact me on my Instagram page is probably the easiest, or via email. I'll put it up in the comments before we finish. Yeah, and ask me the questions, because as I said before, it guides me to what you want to know. So I don't know what you want to know unless you ask. And I love hearing from you. So it's amazing. So I'll just simply give you some, these are like angel calling cards or little reminders that they're there watching you. So you could be feeling stressed or wanting an answer to something, confused about something, and then you think, oh, I'm just going to go for a walk by myself in nature or just in my surroundings and have a look around and see if I can clear my head. And intuitively, for some reason, you look up at the clouds and you start to see formations that you've never noticed before. That's a calling card from the angels. They're saying, we're here, we're listening, keep going. Feathers are another one. So if you, and like it doesn't matter whether it's white or dark, usually if you see a dark coloured feather, it means the darkness within you that you're feeling is about to be lifted. White feathers are more of the Supreme. We're here, we've got your back, we're listening. God is listening, the Supreme, the universe is listening. So here's a couple of examples. This has happened to me a few times at the yoga barn. I have a healing building at the yoga barn here in Bali, and I would walk in and I'd find the cutest, tiniest one white feather, either on my healing bed, on the floor. I've had them move. So if I find them, I have little Buddhas and Shivas and angels, and I have a mixture of all my crystals. I'd put the feather, I'd put it on Buddha, well, then I'd go in the next morning and the feather would be on Shiva, or it would move. And there's no explanation for it. Different things, like I've seen crystals move on people's bodies and I'm not doing anything, just being there. So we never know when they're going to leave their calling card, but it's a good idea to start, especially in these times, just saying a little prayer to the angels. And all you need to do, it's so simple, is just go into your heart. So use the thumbs, join the hands. Remember the hands, I've given you examples of this before. So the small fingers are the five senses, the mind, the intellect, the personal self, and the thumbs are the universe. Place them against your heart and just say, thank you, angels, for being present with me today. I love it when you're here. I love your guidance and I feel your energy within my heart. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's so simple. And that's all you need to do. There is more. You can go, like just say, there's so many beautiful angel prayers out there that you can do, but there's one to start with. If you're wanting a sign or an image of your angel guides, say that prayer and just sit and say, you can say it out loud or just say it in your mind, because you want to get used to not talking out loud. You want to get used to talking in, because you're speaking to your soul, your inner spirit. So you're asking, please show me, and you will see an image start to come through. Don't give up if you don't see it at first. Keep trying. It will come. What helps is having some beautiful high resonance music, high frequency music. There's many recorded music, especially flute is very high vibrational. There's many songs recorded on YouTube that you could, high frequency songs that you could play while you're doing this. Also, angels, when we feel that energy, they sometimes come through, and I've had this when I've been lying down or in a deep meditation. It feels like someone putting their arms around me and telling me I'm okay. Now, on one incident and this happens a lot, Archangel Michael came through and he was behind me and he put his arms around me and it felt like heaven. When I say heaven, what I'm referring to is my spirit when I crossed over. And I thought, this is real. This is really happening because it's the same feeling. And that's what we're aiming for. We're aiming for good feelings. And doing that can help to develop your intuition because it's learning about your energy frequency. And sometimes the angels will come through and tell you to be courageous. They've got you. You're going to be okay. Just keep going. They're saying you are aligned with divine. You are beautiful. You have a beautiful soul. Keep going, keep going, keep going. So I hope you've really enjoyed today's segment. I'd really love you to send out some more questions about maybe developing intuition, the angels, or even if you're struggling with meditation. I have lots of free podcasts available to you, and just podcasts. So connect with me, and I'll let you know. I'm going to put up in the comments. I need to put my computer down. I'll put in the comments how to connect with me if you wish. Send me through an email and your questions, or I can send you any information that you need. And please, never stop reaching out. No question is a silly question. If it's coming to you, it means that you need an answer, and there'll be other people that would like the answer. So sending you so much love and light from Bali. Please reach out. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. Namaste.